This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. Broadcasting 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. And there's a link to all of your instructors on the website, USAPrepares.com. Converging threats are confronted daily by our instructors. I'm Vincent Finelli. John is engineering the broadcast. If you'd like to call in and talk with Captain John Regan, 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. Captain John Regan's with us, U.S. Air Force Reserves retired. Welcome, John Regan.
Good morning, Vincent.
You know, John, I was doing some tractor therapy over the weekend, and I was going around in circles with a chain harrow. And what I do is I drive through the fields with all these cow patties on them, and when the weather's perfect, I can drive this 10 foot by 10 foot. It's like a chain link fence, but it's really heavy. It weighs maybe 500 or 600 pounds. And it's 10 feet by 10 feet in square, and you drag it horizontally along the field. And what happens is as it runs into these cow pies, it just breaks them up into little pieces and spreads them out evenly. So you don't have grass growing in clumps. The sun can disinfect the cow pies effectively and efficiently and quickly. And it's better for everything. It's better for the grass. It's better for the field. It's better for the cows. And the grass grows, more uniformly. Well, I was going around and round with this chain harrow on my antique tractor. Now, this tractor it's a Ford Model 3000, and it was built between 1964 and 1974. So, if you have a Ford Model 3000 tractor, it's within that 10-year span from 64 to 74. And when you buy parts for it, you just say you have a Ford 3000, which engine, whether it's a gas engine or the diesel engine, and the parts are available based on that model year. It didn't change mid-year. Like you don't have to say I've got a Ford 3000, 1964 and a half to get the right parts. They know that if you've got the diesel engine, if it's a Ford 3000, they know what the parts are. It's not like that with cars. And that led me to think about this, John. So I came up with this definition of marketing. Okay. Because how long do cars stay the same? Cell phones. I mean, they've got like maybe a 6 to 9 month model life expectancy, right? Well, so I came up with this definition of marketing. I'd love to hear your reaction to it. Marketing is getting people to buy what they don't have because they don't need it. What do you think?
Well, that's close. Marketing is getting people to buy what they don't need with money that they don't have to impress people that they don't like.
It's funny you say that, because that is what keeping up with the Joneses is all about, right? I mean, they used to have that term back in the 1950s and 60s, keeping up with the Joneses. You had to buy stuff because they did. Okay, who's the first one to buy this? This thing that they didn't need either. Yeah. And,
now all you got to do is, go cook some steaks.
Well, that would really impress them. It will. It's like, wow, I can't believe it. They're having a dinner that's like $40 for steaks. It used to be common in the United States. Back in the 1950s and 60s, we used to have, I'm talking about not just, my family, but just about everybody had meat many times a day. And it wasn't that ground extruded stuff that we call, chop meat. We actually had the real cut of meat. So, John, we've got a meetup tonight at Jimmy's Egg, 4:45 to 8 p.m. And we're going to talk about, first I'll start with the news, my take on the news. Then we'll talk about Bob Estep. Bob Estep is our 68-year-old student. He's been an instructor here at USA Prepares at the meetups. And he would talk about Agenda 21. He was tased and kicked and beaten by a Sparta, Missouri police officer who should be in jail right now, meaning the police officer. And, he was tased inside his vehicle. Bob Estep was tased inside his vehicle. The cop opened his door to Bob Estep's vehicle and tased him right in the car. Out of control. Violated his constitutional rights. So we want that police officer fired. And we also believe, many of us believe, that the town government should all be fired, top to bottom, left to right, because they've all circled the wagons, and no one seems to be on the side of right. No one seems to be interested in the truth. Not that I know of. So I think they should all be fired, every one of them, because they breached the public trust. So we're going to talk about that tonight at the meetup. We're going to talk about our response, because tomorrow night at 6:30 at City Hall in Sparta, Missouri, is the Alderman's meeting. And we're going. USA Prepares is going. A lot of our meetup class is going. There'll probably be about 50 of us. And we want to hear what's going on. It should be a packed meeting, so we'd like to invite you to attend. And we'll have more information at the meetup tonight at Jimmy's Egg. John Regan, what's up first on our list of instruction today?
I'm going to go down to the preparedness section, but you were talking about cow pie, and that gave me an idea.
Okay.
You have these really great $2 hot dogs at the Get Prepared Expo, and I can't wait to get me one of those. They're really, really good. But I was thinking, if there's any government employees there, maybe offer them some cow pie for 50 cents with government ID.
The last expo we had, John, we posted some signs up that said the grounds were consecrated as Native American sacred ground, and any government employees who wished to attend would have to apply. And we had a 3-page application where they could apply for admission to the Get Prepared Expo. And they would have to pay the $10 application fee, and they would have to produce a photo ID. They would have to tell us what they were going to do with why they were there, what they intended, what information they intended to get, what they would do with it, where they lived, their social security number, who their supervisor was, all kinds of things like that. Not one showed up. Now, it's not like they snuck through, because even the police didn't show up. And we have never, ever had an expo where the cops didn't show up. They show up with their drug-sniffing dogs, the canine crew. It's amazing. The dogs didn't show up. The cops didn't show up. And even the people who stayed overnight at the hotel, who our faculty saw in the morning for breakfast before the day one of the expo, saying, hey, we're going to the expo and here's what we're going to do. The three guys on the government team who were going to come and invade us, they didn't even show up. So, I thought that was interesting. But can you imagine if the government actually was on our side? Imagine what a great nation we would be again. So instead of the soil and water conservation guys and the USDA coming to a farm and saying, hey, you realize that you haven't done this? Can you imagine if they came and said, hey, I see your field is growing, but you got these patches of brown. I'll tell you what you do. Let's help you with the soil test, and we'll see if we can get that grass to grow better, be more productive. Can you imagine if they did that? They're not interested in doing that. They're interested in fines, revenue, oppression, regulations, and usurping authority. That's my take. All right.
I think
I'm ready.
One of your buttons there.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's getting easier, isn't it? It used to take maybe a half hour and 20 minutes. Now I hear the music and I go off. Okay, John, I'm at the financialstateoftheunion.com website, your website, Captain John Reagan's website, the financialstateoftheunion.com. I'm at the news tab. Where would you like me to go?
We're going to go down to the preparedness section.
Okay.
And I found 3 articles on chickens this week that I thought were interesting. And, you know, a lot of what we do is, since we don't have experience like our, grandparents or great-great-grandparents used to have, we end up reinventing the wheel sometimes. And this first one talks about Victory Garden chicken system, where you create a dual chicken run. So you use the chickens on one side, grow your veggies on the other, and then next year you swap them, or next season, you swap them so that, what the chickens have fertilized on the one side, you plant, your veggies in, and then you let the chickens go over and dig up the old crop and fertilize it on the other.
Mm-hmm. Well, what a great idea. What a great idea. And, chicken poop is really valuable. It's really hot as a fertilizer. So you need to let it age for 6, 9, 12 months. And then it's really an excellent fertilizer, especially if you don't feed the chickens with antibiotics.
Of course, this is back in the day when the government encouraged people to raise their own food.
Yeah, Victory Gardens. We used to do that during World War II. And you're right, we were all encouraged to plant something to eat. And if you had a balcony, if you lived in an apartment on the second floor and there was a window or a balcony, you'd get a pot of, clay pot, put some dirt in it and some seeds, and you try to grow whatever you could to raise as much of your own food, to offload from the system as possible. It's exactly the opposite now. They don't want you to grow anything because they want you to buy food and pay taxes on it and increase the revenue to the oppressive government. John Regan and I'll be right back right after this short commercial announcement. Some of you might be wondering, just what is the Get Prepared Expo? The Get Prepared Expo is designed to help everyone survive tornadoes, snowstorms, ice storms, earthquakes, and God forbid, a real terrorist attack. Are you ready? Have you thought through all the scenarios? At the Get Prepared Expo, you'll meet exhibitors who will help you prepare and survive and learn what you need. Included in your all-day passes are 1-hour seminars on water filtration, cooking and heating without electricity, wood, or any kind of fuel, the all-important survival garden, and growing food with heirloom seeds, radiation detection and radiation survival. There are over 60 seminars at the Get Prepared Expo. Think of it as a college preparedness degree in a weekend. Get Prepared Expos are taught by preparedness leaders, authors, medical doctors, and radio personalities. Bring your questions. We have the answers. We hope to see you the last weekend in March, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. GetPreparedExpo.com.
So you think your basement will save your family? Think again. A separate, certified safe room placed in the basement, properly anchored to the floor, offers the best chance of survival and protection. And the best safe room you can buy is at Missouri Storm Shelters. You saw them at USAPrepares.com Expo. Missouri Storm Shelters has the largest selection of certified storm shelters in the world, tested against winds up to 250 miles per hour. That exceeds the EF5 rating. Missouri Storm Shelters meet or exceed FEMA's 320 and 360 recommended standards, and also NSSA and ICC 500 standards. See Missouri Storm Shelters right here in Nixa, Missouri, or online at MissouriStormShelters.com, or call for pricing and details at 417-725-0055, 417-725-0055. Missouri Storm Shelters, because basements won't save your family.
Have you ever felt like the United States government knows way too much about your financial affairs? I continue to hear stories about property seizures, frozen bank accounts, confiscation of stocks and bonds. It makes me wonder if the U.S. citizen will ever again have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Unfortunately, with the Drug and Money Laundering Act, the IRS Revenue Ruling 6045 of 1984, and the Trading with the Enemy Act and Franklin D. Roosevelt's Executive Order of 1933, some precious metal holdings are subject to government intervention. For this reason, Midas Resources has prepared a report explaining the boundaries of trading precious metals privately. Whether if you have any intention of trading with Midas Resources or not, I have instructed my representatives to give this report out free. Call for your free copy at 1-800-686-2237. When investing, always proceed with caution. Again, call 1-800-686-2237. Exercise your legal right to trade metals privately. 1-800-686-2237.
John Regan's with us, and we've been talking about chickens. And John, it looks like you were highly interested in chickens when you prepared this lesson for today.
And I didn't say that the 3 articles just fell into my lap all in the same week. And when you have chickens, you need a chicken coop. When you have a chicken coop, you got to start dealing with chicken poop. You learn, you just learn how foul it really is. And there's a couple of articles here on how to help with that situation. One of them that I thought was rather ingenious was a poop hammock. And they created this hammock out of shade cloth and would keep it underneath the chickens and would make the coop a whole lot easier to clean. And the third article is similar. What the person did was use, get down the article here. He painted the floor with a
bed liner.
Yeah, the liquid bed liner stuff, which makes it very easy to clean. Basically, just sweep and wash.
Yeah. I don't know if I like that idea. For maybe if you live in the city, okay. I like the idea. I'm looking at his chicken coop. It's really, really neat. He's got this log or this tree limb that he's got horizontally standing on, one end is on a cinder block and the other end's on another cinder block. And that's great because the chickens like that. And they've got a water and they've got a feeder and it's really nice, and they've got, a really good looking home. I mean, it's like a playhouse for children. I mean, it's got windows. I mean, it's very nicely done. Cedars, looks like cedar shake siding. A magnificent structure. But I don't know about if I'm comfortable with the bed liner for the floor, because I kind of like the dirt there, and the chickens like to scratch. But he's got looks like he's got sawdust and scratching material that the chickens can scratch. And I prefer natural, but he's worried about predators, which I think is important too. So I'm not sure. Oh, excuse me. Okay, no, I do like what he did. He uses the bed liner inside the chicken coop, not outside. Perfect. Exactly the way I would do it. Yep, I like it.
So just some thoughts. If you don't have, chickens in chicken coop yet, there's some things you can, plan that really don't cost a whole lot of money.
Yeah, and I think we need to start thinking about raising animals like chickens, because this person lives on the wood line. It looks like there's, you can't see completely around his property, but it looks like where his home is, he's got woods, and of course where there's woods, there's ticks. And what we do is we let the chickens out around our farmhouse, and they're free range. They're free range 24 hours a day. And they eat the ticks and eat the bugs and the grasshoppers, and they're pretty happy. Now their chicken poop is everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere. On the doormat at the back door, on the veranda, in the yard, on the driveway, and if they find their way into the garage, in the barn, everywhere. But that's kind of what farming's like. So I like the idea that our chickens roam everywhere and eat the ticks and bugs and fleas and whatever they find that's moving that they'd like to eat. I'm glad they do it. And, I was just thinking about Rich in Montana as we were talking about these chickens. And sure enough, welcome, Rich in Montana.
Thank you, Vince. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing well, and Mrs. Finelli said to me, "Hey, Rich is coming. He bought his ticket. He's coming to the expo, and I'm all excited. I'm all excited."
Well, thank you. You sold me on it. I think it's really good to help other people, be around like-minded individuals, and create some type of a plan of action so we can survive as what's left of the middle class. And the reason why I called when I was listening to you and John speak, and how you doing, John?
Doing great.
I just couldn't resist. When you started talking about chicken poop, I just had to chime in.
Tell you what, Rich Shealy, hold that thought. We're going into bottom of the hour commercial announcement, and we'll come back and talk about chickens and chicken poop. And Rich Shealy, I loved that DVD that you made. We'll be right back.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective, and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey Water Filtration Systems. The Berkey Light Systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light System today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Yeah?
Did you want to see me, sir?
Well, I did, but now that I do, I'm not so sure.
Sir?
Johnson, I got a mission for you that could change your life.
Oh, good, sir.
It involves traveling halfway around the world without so much as half a clue of where you're going or what you're going to do when you get there.
Situation normal, sir?
Uh-huh. Well, I'll be leading this mission, Johnson, so I'll be telling you what to do.
You, sir?
That's right, Johnson, and I say first things first.
Oh, good plan, sir.
And what I say is first is food. Always remember that, Johnson. Food is a big deal.
Sir, my brother-in-law can get us a really good deal on some surplus MREs.
Johnson, if you've got half a brain and that empty head of yours, you'll call the freeze-dry guy like I did. That food is better for you, it rehydrates faster, and it's good, Johnson, and it keeps for up to 30 years.
Will we be gone that long, sir?
I hope not. Now get your supplies organized and meet me down to the pier at dawn on Sunday. We sail at sunrise.
Yes, sir.
This adventure is brought to you by the Freeze-Dry Guy. Call 866-404-3663 or visit freezedryguy.com.
Class John Regan's with us, Captain John Regan. You're going to get a chance to spend some time with him at the Get Prepared Expo, at his seminars, and at his booth, and also for banquet dinners and lunch. And the same goes for Rich Shealy, offgridmontana.com, offgridmontana.com. Rich, you and John Regan and I were talking about chickens, and I mentioned your DVD. Will we have a chance to see your DVD at the Get Prepared Expo and maybe buy one?
think that will be possible. At least I will have a site where someone could buy one, and I will bring some that maybe I can constantly play on some type of a player if you have an application for that. And but I will bring a few. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. Because I would think that some of our guests and other instructors would like to buy one and get it autographed. And so I got class. I got a chance to see it. So I saw the pre-production copy, and it is really, really neat. And we're talking about chickens, and part of this DVD, it shows a turkey on your farm, where the turkey is in the beginning process of becoming dinner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so not everybody knows how that goes, Rich.
No, and as you always hear me say, we need to bring back some of those lost 19th century skills, but dovetail those skills with our 21st century technology. Mm-hmm. Because when you look at just all the barometers of the U.S. economy, for example, derivatives. In the book, I wrote $700 trillion to be conservative. Last article I read is 1.6 or 1.5 quadrillion, which is 16 times the global GDP. All of it's phony. All of it's fake. U.S. spending alone makes up almost 50% of the U.S. GDP. So how long is this going to be sustainable? And chickens is just one primary example of the benefits that we could get as middle-class Americans, or as any Americans, where we get fresh, non-GMO eggs and meat. And I think the greatest benefit, when I was listening to your show last week, Vince, when you had that lady over who was as a guest and her children, she was homeschooling. That show was such a community service, the way I look at it, because kids that don't have the chores that they used to have, they're in their room, they shut the door, they're playing with the blue lights all the time. They barely communicate. They've lost the ability to communicate. The only thing that works on them anymore is their thumbs. And I think having chickens, not only for the benefit of non-GMO eggs and meat, but just the ability to learn some of those lost 19th century skills and have certain chores that keeps them moving, keeps them thinking. And because we've lost that as an American people. So I think this is a very important topic, definitely.
You're mentioning that homeschool class. Prior to that, we had a 6th grade that we taught on this broadcast out of Ryan, Oklahoma. And it's very interesting, some of the things that the students learned. And in the studio, they made me a plaque. They made a hand-sanded, hand-painted wooden plaque. They all signed it on the back, and it says, "No whining." And it's right here, right in front of me, and I hang it. I've got it on the wall, and I hang it there because it's a great memory of teaching that class with our instructors. And here's the point: no whining. A lot of people think that that's kind of corny and as a rejoinder for this broadcast. No whining. But the students seem to think that that's important. And that's the thing that they remembered about the broadcast, because they're not allowed to whine. They're not allowed to say, well, I couldn't do it because, no whining, no excuses. Get it done. Do it. And that was a great takeaway from this broadcast. Of all the things that I thought maybe they learned some medicine, they learned some physics, they learned some chemistry. But the thing that they remembered the most was the no whining.
Yeah, well, I
love it.
Where we have
John Regan, your take?
I'm just enjoying the the discussion right now.
Okay, all right. So, Rich, you'll be here at the farm, and I can just see it now. John Statmiller has been to the farm, and he has his room. And Dr. Richard Allen Miller has his room. And Matt Stein has his room. And all of the guests who come to the farm, who are instructors, have their room. The only thing is it's the same room. So when this happens, and everybody climbs into the same bed.
Oh boy.
I have to get a picture of this. But no, we have 5 sofa beds scattered throughout the house, and so we've got facilities. But let me tell you who's coming. Erin Dakins, her husband Brad Dakins. Erin and Brad broadcast on Genesis Communications Network. Let's see, you're coming. Dr. Richard Allen Miller, Matt Stein, Dr. Judy Wood. I think there are a few others that are coming. So it's going to be packed, absolutely packed. I think Sam Bushman's coming and Kurt Crosby. It'll be a lot of fun. So, Rich, I appreciate your help and your call. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
No, I'll let you get back with your callers and John, and I appreciate you guys letting me chime in. You guys have a good day.
You too. Thanks. Thanks, Rich Sheaven.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was Rich Sheaven. He lives in Montana, and when you get a chance to see his lifestyle, he lives in a cabin, John. And, we've talked on the air, and I got a chance to see, he opened up his life by filming this video. And he lives in this cabin, and it's a large open space cabin, and he has solar power, and he has a wood stove. He heats the cabin with this kitchen wood stove. It's a really nice, large Amish-style wood stove. So they cook with wood, they heat with wood, they heat their hot water with wood, and they have a water storage tank, and they have animals all over, chickens and goats, and they're for food, and they hunt and fish, and they're in Montana, off the grid. So you're going to get a chance to talk with Rich Sheaven, and if you'd like to buy his book, get it autographed, you can do that. If you'd like to buy John Reagan's book, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com. And Rich mentioned collapse. John, one of the things that I wanted to make sure we covered was, what is the likelihood that the economy will collapse?
At least 100%.
Yeah. So if you believe that, then get prepared for it. Seriously. Let's say you think there's only a 50% chance that John Reagan might be right. Would you prepare for it? What if there's only a 25% chance that the economy will collapse? Would you prepare for it? John Reagan, I haven't posted this, but I have on a screen in front of me, this guy. He says, I transferred this is in Europe. He transferred his pension savings of about $300,000 equivalent into carbon credits, which have gone up in smoke. And he wants to know, has he lost his pension? And what happened was he put his savings into carbon credits, which he was told would get him a greater return, and the company went into liquidation. But he was told it was safe. Well, that violates Max's law. Okay? Buy the best, pay cash, take delivery. It violates that in I'm trying to think of the word, in meaning. Let's use that. It violates it because he doesn't have it. He can't control it. It's not in his possession. He bought something that he can't feel, can't see, can't touch. It's a concept, a carbon credit. And he put his wherewithal, all his savings into that. And it's gone. Don't do that. Don't put your wherewithal into things that you can't control. It's crazy. I mean, had he put it in gold and gold went down, well, he'd still have the gold. Had he put it in gold and gold went up, he'd still have the gold. If he bought a farm with it, he'd still have the farm. It's nuts. Taking your hard work, transferring it into one of these schemes. John, what do you think?
Yeah, and we got a ton of financial news we'll be getting into today, and none of it's good.
Does it relate to this kind of a concept where people have done things that's not tangible, they can't feel it, they can't see it, they can't touch it, and they've lost?
we're at the point where even tangibles are risky.
Okay. Well, let's get into your next item on today's lesson.
Let's slide on down to the bigger picture. I entitled the link, "The Left Has Succeeded." And you remember back before, we got the big box stores, we had independent bookstores. And
yes, we
they
did.
were great places to go. And there's a San Francisco bookstore. They survived a 100% rent increase in 2000. They had to move to do that. They survived the Amazon online shopping trend. They survived the people buying more and more e-books. They survived the Great Recession of 2009. But finally, they have succumbed because of the $15 minimum wage. They are going out of business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was talking with Valerie Earhart, and she's going to see if she can arrange her schedule. ABC Books in Springfield, Missouri. She brings all these great books to the Get Prepared Expo. I know you know her. She's been on the air with us many times, and I like the physical books the best. John, very quickly, what's your thought of these e-books? Do you like them, or would you rather have a physical copy?
It's kind of good to have both in some cases, because if you have to bug out, you can take a whole lot more with you in electronic format.
Okay, there you go. Captain John Regan, I'll be right back after these few short commercial announcements. What's so special about the Get Prepared Expo? Imagine having the opportunity to learn from some of the best preparedness and survival instructors available today. The faculty of USAPrepares.com. Imagine meeting your radio instructors all in one place. The last weekend in March. Imagine having lunch or dinner at a table with your instructors. And the cost? $10.80. Imagine having your favorite instructors autographing and personalizing your new books. Imagine buying Berkey water filters at deep discounts, the lowest price in the country. Imagine buying freeze-dried long-term storage food at the lowest price in the country. You don't have to imagine. This is real. It's at the Get Prepared Expo, the biggest and best preparedness expo there is, March 27, 28, and 29 in Lebanon, Missouri. One-day tickets are $8 on the website, getpreparedexpo.com. getpreparedexpo.com.
It's no secret that government and big business buy in bulk and get huge discounts not available to the little guy. Until now. Introducing a breakthrough crowd buying website where people can join together, buy in bulk, and get massive discounts on millions of popular products. It's TogetherSave.com. TogetherSave.com. You can save 20, 30, or even 50% off tablets, smartphones, cars, appliances, textbooks, sports equipment, video games, and much more. All with free delivery. Check it out. TogetherSave.com. Visit now and start group buying today at TogetherSave.com.
This is Dan Pillett. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
I'm Vincent Finelli of USAPrepares.com. As most of you know, I broadcast weekday mornings on GCN from 9 to 11. And I'm also a full-time farmer. Add to that mix the weekly meetups and the Get Prepared Expo, and this combination makes for a demanding schedule. On the farm, we raise grass-fed Black Angus cattle and provide them with the best variety of summer and fall grasses available. Our cattle are exposed to the extremes of weather, the toxins in the air, and the electromagnetic radiation that's all around us. So even the best grasses and food that we provide are not enough. Our cattle require minerals and supplements for strong health and resistance to disease. And so do we. For these reasons, my mother, our children, Mrs. Finelli, and I all take Longevity, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, De-Stress, Glucogel, and EFA+. USAPreparesTeam.com. And thank you for being in class today. John, I'm looking at the website, Borderlands Books, new and used. And it's a really nice bookstore. Lots of books, open, and it started out with the owner selling some of his private private collection. And he built it into a business, and he's been in business for 18 years. Well, it's kind of like ABC Books in Springfield, Missouri. Valerie Earhart has been to many of our expos, and I hope she can work out her schedule so she'll be at this one. And, with these bookstores, a lot of the owners have read the books. And so if you say, hey, do you have a book on such and such? They can say, yes, we do. And, the best one for what you're trying to do is this one, and here's why. And so you won't waste money buying books that really aren't very good. That's what these small, independent, new and used bookstores bring to the table. And this is a very sad chapter in our lives that Borderlands Books is closing. And I'm sure it's not the only one. And that's because we're being told what to do by government. These government minions, these government operatives, these government traitors get together and they make decisions, and they have no idea what they're doing. They're weak. They're incompetent. They take bribes. They have loose morals. And these are the guys that make decisions that affect the rest of us. If this bookstore was doing so well that the owner could afford to increase the wages, I'm sure he would. So instead, the government minimum wage of $15 wipes him out. And John, you mentioned that his rent went up 100%. It doubled. How does that happen? How does a landlord say, hey, you know what? You're doing great. You've been paying your rent. So as a reward, we're going to double it. What kind of morals does that take? I'd suggest that smacks of individual greed on the landlord's part. Your thoughts?
Well, this is California that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And reality and is kind of far away from what's going on there. Real estate prices go up very quickly. So in the scheme of things, if you don't have your rents comparable to what the rest of the system is, you're losing money too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just couldn't face, if I were a landlord, I just couldn't face telling them, hey, I'm so glad you've been with us. By the way, your rent's doubled next year. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. What's next?
Oh, let's talk about health. I've got a couple of articles. One is about how scientists spent a year and a half mapping the microbes in the New York subway system. And they found over 15,000, which include things like plague and meningitis and dysentery. But what I thought was interesting is that about half of the microbes they found, they don't even know what it is because the DNA doesn't match anything. And you may not live in New York and take the subway, but the second one talks about hygiene that's closer to home. Things like the phone. Cell phones get all kinds of bacteria on them. And this article says they should be cleaned every day. Sheets should be cleaned once a week. Pillows every 3 months. And bras after 2 wears. But some of the bad things are the tea towels and dishcloths. In fact, this one says you should boil the dishcloth after each use.
John Regan, I got to tell you, I don't know anyone who boils laundry anymore. I mean, my grandmother did, but I don't know anybody else since then who boils laundry. And that's a really good point. Those dish towels, really. Think about what's on them. John Regan, I'll be right back. TheFinancialStateOfTheUnion.com. I'm Vin Finelli. This is USAPrepares.com.
You pick up the receiver. With your heart racing and sweat dripping from your forehead, you finally muster the courage to dial the number to call into your favorite talk radio show. It rings once, twice, and then...
Hello, it's GCN. What's your name and the state you're calling from?
Surprised you got through, you squeak out.
Jason from Minnesota.
Please hold.
As you patiently wait for your turn, you begin to daydream about being a famous talk radio host and what it would be like to have your own show.
Jason from Minnesota, you're up.
Millions of loyal listeners worldwide waiting to call and talk to you.
Caller, are you there?
Cheering crowds surround you, calling out your name.
Jason! Jason! Going once, twice. Okay, we gotta move on to the next caller.
You blew it.
Huh? Wait, no!
Interact with the hosts you're listening to right now, online at GCNlive.com. Click on the community link. Engage with other listeners. Ask questions. Start debates. Don't agree with the host? Let them know. Be a part of the community at GCNlive.com.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
Did you know by age 50, half of all men have an enlarged prostate? This means more urges to urinate, longer bathroom trips, waking at night to urinate, or issues with sex. If this sounds familiar, call us now, because we're shipping free bottles of Super Beta Prostate to listeners of this station. Super Beta Prostate is a non-prescription formula guaranteed to reduce the symptoms of your enlarged prostate. It's yours free. Pay only shipping and handling. Just call 1-800-467-5019. In clinical trials, the ingredient in Super Beta Prostate was shown to reduce urges to urinate, improve bladder emptying, reduce waking at night to urinate, and improve quality of life. This Super Beta Prostate free offer is for listeners of this station, but it won't last. Don't wait. Just call 1-800-467-5019. That's 1-800-467-5019. Call 1-800-467-5019.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Here we go. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com with Captain John Regan, U.S. Air Force Reserves, retired. John, we're talking about hygiene during hour number 1, and we're talking about towels and boiling them. And one thing that we probably should make sure everybody knows about is the bacteria that's found on paper notes, you know, those green pieces of paper with dead presidents on them. According to the post that you've linked to on your website, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com, the news tab, paper currency has bacteria on it. I mean, you have no idea where people put paper currency. I mean, some people, believe it or not, put paper currency in their undergarments. I'm not kidding. Some people use it for the consumption of drugs, and it just lies around. Well, anyway, according to this post that you've linked to on your website, that bacteria is found on 80% of the paper currency and 50% of the credit cards. So I think if we have the opportunity to use, if we're going to use credit cards, we probably want to hold them and not hand them to someone else and let them put their bacteria on our credit card, and then we take it back with, you know, the bacteria that was on it plus their bacteria. I think we want to swipe the cards ourselves. And also, be careful with what you do with paper currency. Your thoughts, John?
Was point out from a preparedness point of view. When we go into the after the poop hits the prop world, we are going to have to be responsible for our own health. We're not going to be able to just go off to a doctor and get something prescribed and go down to the store and pick it up. We need to be proactive. And, things like the dish towels and the washcloths, those you're still going to have, and you want to make sure that you do whatever you can to keep those at least somewhat sanitary so you're not infecting yourself with bacteria.
And as I mentioned during hour number 1, my grandmother used to boil, the white clothes, literally boil them to sterilize them. Now we use chlorine bleach, and that's probably pretty good. But actually, we don't use chlorine in our house except for very, very rare circumstances because it's so deadly and so toxic. This post talks about cleaning out your handbags. I mean, who cleans out, ladies? Who cleans out their handbags? Do you? Do you disinfect them? Well, it's recommending that you do it every week. And purses, clean them out and disinfect them every week. And one thing that you might want to consider, I'm going to talk to Milo Carter. He's scheduled to be on the broadcast tomorrow, and he might be bringing with him a pallet or two of Nixol, and that's what you would use. I mean, that's what we have here at the farm. So we use Nixol as the disinfectant of first choice. Okay, John, what's next?
Well, before I forget, I thought of an experiment that might be fun to try during the expo. And that's if people would come up to you and say 2 magic words and see if they push your button.
And what's that?
The 2 magic words of John Regan.
Well, it's not John Regan that pushes my buttons. It has nothing to do with, well, actually, I won't say it has nothing to do with John Regan, but it's the topics that you bring up that just launch me because it reminds me of the 360-degree assaults that we are experiencing on everything. I mean, literally everything. Just one of the things that hardly ever gets discussed are these microbes that are attacking us. And then you add to that, the assaults on us by our government and the taxes. And, a lot of our problems are really our government. So it's not John Regan. It's the things that you remind me of for 2 hours every Monday. Yeah.
Well, I'll be
what's
talking
next?
about some of those during the expo too.
Okay.
On the financial side, I've got information on kind of nailing down how long we have at the longest, because things can turn immediately. I've already covered that before, but now I'm closing in onto, unfortunately, a pretty close-in time frame where things really can't go past. And then I'm going to talk about things like I've discussed before, the meetup on the unprepared prepper, things that you typically don't consider too much in today's world that can literally cost you your life in what's to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, class, if you'd like to see what we're talking about, if you go to usaprepares.com, another way to get to USA Prepares is type in Get Prepared Expo. Get Prepared Expo and USA Prepares both take you to the same place, our website. And if you click on the seminars, page 1, you'll see that you can buy expo tickets. You can buy your banquet tickets. Maybe I should, let me do this. Let me just do a real quick recap of how the expo works. And John's seminar schedule is on the website at usaprepares.com or getpreparedexpo.com. So Friday from, let's say, 10 o'clock in the morning, this is March 27th, 10 o'clock in the morning till about 4 o'clock, the exhibitors and instructors set up their booths in Lebanon, Missouri at the Cowan Civic Center. And all day long there's milling around, and there's forklifts going back and forth and loading and unloading. And the exhibits are set up. The seminar rooms are set up. And that lasts until about 4 p.m. Then at 6 o'clock that night, we have our first banquet dinner. That's where the faculty and the exhibitors, so the instructors and the exhibitors and guests, if you'd like, can join us. And there'll be about 200 of us total in this banquet room, where it's on campus. It's at the Cowan Civic Center, right where the expo is. Actually, it's in the seminar room, so we open up 3 seminar rooms into one big room for dinner. And for $10.80, you can join us for dinner. And what we do is we take 2 minutes at the microphone each. So I'll get up there as the MC, and I'll say, "Hi, I'm Vincent Finelli. I'm so glad you're here." And we're gonna take 2 minutes at the microphone each and just introduce who we are, why we're here, what our seminar is going to be on, and if we're an author, we'll say, the books we've written, and they're available to be autographed if you'd like, and maybe where our booth is. Then we pass the microphone on to the next person who takes 2 minutes. Well, with 100 speakers, that's going to take 200 minutes. That's over 3 hours. And it is a hoot. It really is, because you'll get, if you decide to come to that, get your tickets early, really. $10.80 for the banquet dinner. That's the total cost of the banquet dinner, $10.80. And you'll have rosemary and honey chicken and herb-encrusted roast beef, both on the same plate, steamed mixed vegetables with broccoli, bell pepper, squash, and a lemon dill butter sauce. And then you have garlic smashed potatoes, Ozark green salad, French bread with real butter, and brewed iced tea, water, or water with lemon. Okay, that's the banquet meal. And you get a chance to see who those instructors and exhibitors are that who you'd like to meet, on the rest of the weekend. Then Saturday, we open up the exhibit hall at 9 o'clock to 6, and we have seminars every hour. There are about 60 seminars over Saturday and Sunday. And Saturday night, we have another banquet dinner. Now, the plan there is, let's say you'd like to have dinner with John Regan. Well, you tell John Regan, "Hey, listen, John, I'd love to have dinner with you and sit at your table." So John will have a table with 8 seats. He'll take 1 seat, and there'll be 7 remaining seats. So if you'd like to have dinner with John Regan, you may. And what you do is let him know, and you arrange to sit at his table for dinner. Cost for dinner, another banquet dinner is $10.80. And then on Sunday, we have more seminars every hour. We have about 5 seminars per hour. And you choose which seminars you want to go to. They're all included in your pass except for one. And that's in case, if you want to make a dental crown, there's an extra charge for your dental crown seminar, because you'll be taking dental crown supplies home with you, and you'll have 2 sets, one at the expo and one you'll take home with you for an emergency. So you'll learn how to make a crown in a dental emergency. Other than that, the seminars are included in your Saturday and Sunday passes. The passes are $8 a piece, or 2 days for $15. And then Sunday we have a banquet lunch at noon, and you can have lunch with your instructors. So that's kind of the expo in an overview. If you'd like to bring your camper, it's $10 a day for camping. We're going to serve Nathan's best all-beef hot dogs for $2. They're about a third of a pound. And soft drinks for $1 all day. That's all day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we don't want you to go hungry. And that's the plan. It is literally the biggest and best preparedness expo there is. So, John, that's an overview. And if you'd like, class, you can go to usapreparedness.com and click on the link for the expo, and you'll see when John's speaking. I'll tell you when to do that. John Regan and I will be right back after these few short announcements, and We're back to the Financial State of the Union. We'll click on the News tab. So just who will you meet at the Get Prepared Expo? For starters, John Moore, John Statmiller, Sam Bushman, Kurt Crosby, Aaron Dakins, Brad Dakins, and me, Vincent Finelli. Joining us, just to name a few, are the senior instructors: medical doctor Norman Shealy, engineer Matt Stein, the real Fox Mulder of the X-Files, physicist Dr. Richard Allen Miller, author Captain John Regan, counter-terrorist Mike Ma, author Rich Sheben, and the CSPOA founder, Sheriff Richard Mack. You'll learn how water wells work, how to buy gold and silver quietly, discreetly, and privately. Learn the importance of good health and how to care for your loved ones. Learn alternative medicines, overcoming anxiety, stress, high blood pressure, and alternative cancer treatments. You'll have access to more doctors, more authors, more talk show hosts than any event we know of. The Get Prepared Expo, the last weekend in March, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 27th, 28th, and 29th. GetPreparedExpo.com. That's GetPreparedExpo.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists, get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
We've been patiently waiting while you tried to ignore us, waiting while you acted like we didn't exist, waiting for our chance to be taken seriously. The wait is over. GCN is available 24/7 at GCNlive.com. Navigate through news from your favorite hosts and download archives of past shows. Download the app on your smartphone or tablet or visit GCNlive.com for instant access and live streaming. GCNlive.com, the future of talk radio, now at your fingertips.
Last, we're back with Captain John Regan, U.S. Air Force Reserves retired, and I was mentioning the schedule for the Get Prepared Expo. It's on the website, usaprepares.com, and on page 1, and you can click on the seminars, and John Regan will be speaking Saturday at 4 to 5, and Sunday, it'll be, before dinner, 4 to 5, and Sunday, from 3 to 4. And that's on the website. And by the way, the schedule is up to version 2.08. So if you look at the schedule, you'll see that there's a version number. So please, this is ever changing. It changes, sometimes, every couple of minutes. Really. It literally does. And if you're one of our instructors and you haven't contacted me and you want to speak, there are 5 speaking slots left. That's it. 5 left. So let me know immediately if you see something on the schedule that doesn't look right, or if you see that you're not there, let me know immediately. There's only 5 slots left. John Regan, what are we going to learn at your seminar?
Well, on the Financial State of the Union side, I'm going to probably just concentrate on an update to news I'll be releasing next month. Because to do a full presentation of the Financial State of the Union takes somewhere between 2.5 to 4 hours. And then on the unprepared prepper side, like I say, I'll be covering points to help you devise your plan for what's coming, including items that you may not have considered that, like I say, it can cost you your life.
And John, just so we talk about this for a couple more minutes, when you talk about the unprepared prepper, one of the things that you've mentioned in the past is salt. We don't think about that. We really don't. And salt is so inexpensive. The last time I was at Aldi, I think salt was about 40 cents per pound. And that's if you get the kind that's not good for you, the kind that's not as good for you, let's call it that. But there are other things that you need too, right?
Oh, there's quite a bit. And another important product that you pretty much have to store is baking soda. And there's so many uses for that. But for the most part, baking soda is mine. There are chemical processes that you can go through to create it, but those are, I think, even more troublesome. So, well, in addition to having a good supply of salt, you'll want a good supply of baking soda as well.
Yeah, and with those two ingredients, salt and baking soda, you can make your own toothpaste. Just a little bit of each one, put it in the palm of your hand, wet your toothbrush, and brush your teeth with it. That's what my dad did for many, 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 many years. And I don't think there are dentists who will say that, no, that's a bad idea, because it kills bacteria and it can polish your teeth and even whiten them. So both of those products are natural salt and baking soda. And John Regan's absolutely right. So he's going to teach you in your in his seminars about the financial state of the union and the unprepared prepper. So, John, I'll make that change on the website about the unprepared prepper. I will modify the title of that. And do you have a preference as to which seminars on which day?
Yeah, that doesn't matter very much to me. They're both depressing.
Okay. Hey, John, seriously, I only have you down for an hour for each seminar. Do you need more time?
You know me, I never have a problem of, running out of material before the clock expires. But this is part of the reason why I had to write the Financial State of the Union. Is like I found out how long it took just to present the information, and just lining out what the true financial position of the United States is takes me an hour, and that doesn't even get into the other issues. So I can give you the high parts, and we can get into some of the things that we need to do. However, I could take all day, both days, and still not cover what you need to know. So, I'll do my best in the time allotted.
Yeah, and John, this is the first time that I'm going to actually be giving a seminar at the Get Prepared Expo. Normally, I give up my time slots to others, but this time I've gotten requests. People have called the forum and said, hey, teach us how to start our own business. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach you how to start your own business. And it's going to start with your trip to the Get Prepared Expo. And that's going to be a tax deduction for you. And I'll tell you why. We'll be right back.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call? And how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Worried about getting sick and feeling terrible for days or even weeks? You need Immudyne for a healthy immune system. Why get sick and bother with products that just don't work? For just $1 a day, Immudyne is all natural and safe for all lifestyles. Call 866-257-8668 to buy now before it's too late, before you get sick. Or go to IMMUDYNE.com, Immudyne.com, or call 866-257-8668.
Captain John Regan's with us. And John Regan, I'm gonna share some secrets right now. And, well, have you ever had your taxes prepared? No, I'm not asking you, John. This is a rhetorical question for the class. Have you ever had your taxes prepared? Most people have their taxes prepared. Now, have you ever had your tax preparer say, hey, I'll tell you what. I got a great idea. Why don't you start your own business? Do you know how much money you could save on your taxes if you had your own business? I'm telling you, I don't think that's ever happened. I don't think a tax preparer has ever said, hey, start your own business. Seriously, they don't do that. They don't think like that. Well, I'm here to tell you that you need to start your business right now. I don't mean tomorrow. I mean right now. I mean this very second. Here's why. If you decide that you're going to start your own business right this second, you can deduct the cost of the Get Prepared Expo as a business expense, as an educational adventure to learn how to start your own business. So here you go. Start your own business right now. Now, what do you have to do? You say, I'm starting my business right now. That's it. You've now started your business. Forget filing all these forms for right now, okay? You've just started your business. Now, who are the most successful people that you know? Who are better off? Those who are employees or those who have businesses? I submit to you that you will make the decision that people who seem to have their own businesses are better off. They're in control of their own destiny. They don't get yelled at by the boss, and their stress level is not the same. Okay, so here's what happens. When you start your own business, which you just did 5 seconds ago, and you decide to take advantage of the same tax laws that the rich take advantage of, you can, let's just pick a business. Let's say you decide you're going to write a newsletter. Well, you got to have a computer for that. Well, that computer you might already have. So use that as a deduction, the cost of that computer, your iPad, your internet connection, your phone line, the supplies in your office, the desk, the furniture, the chair, the rug, the lights, the papers and the pencil, all that stuff. The desk phone. Those are all related to your business now. And they can be deductions against your income that you have from your job because you started this side business. It can be any business you want. But you're going to learn how to start your own business at the Get Prepared Expo. And if you need proof, if you get audited, and it's no big deal getting audited because you're going to do this all above board. You're not going to do anything that's against the tax laws. So you print out a copy of the schedule for the Get Prepared Expo, and it says starting your own business. So you came to the Get Prepared Expo to start your own business. Now your mileage to the expo, if you drive, is deductible. Your meals are deductible. Your lodging is deductible. Pretty cool, huh? Think of it like taking a tax-deductible vacation. We're going to teach you how the system works. And we're here to help you. I think you're going to be grinning from ear to ear when you learn all these neat things that you didn't think through prior. It's all in front of us. But it's not for the lazy. And, John, you were mentioning about this bookstore closing. The common thread that runs through all of us at USA Prepares, the common thread, or one of the common threads, is that we're readers. We all read. We all love to read. We all love to learn. And we all have books. Both paper copies and e-books. Except in my case, I don't have any e-books. Mine are paper copies, but I have lots of files. Lots of files on our computers, which, by the way, are a business deduction. Heck, I wouldn't need these computers. Really, what would I need computers for if I didn't have a business? They're not mine. They're the businesses. Think about that. John Regan, your thoughts?
Absolutely. And, every little bit helps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Imagine buying your computer because you want a computer versus imagine buying your computer because you need a computer. The difference is one of them is a deduction against your income and the other is just an expense. And all the things that are attached to that computer, like that monthly internet connection, that's now a deduction. And the telephone. I mean, seriously, if I didn't have a business, why would I need a phone? Who would I talk to? I don't need to talk to anybody. And those of you who come to the meetups on Monday night, those who are an educational adventure, you're learning. That's tax deductible if you have a business. It's tax deductible. Why would you not take that deduction? John, I know I'm off on a tangent, but I know people who throw their receipts away. Now, to me, let's say I were in the 35% tax bracket. All those receipts that I could throw away, that I could find a business reason for having done that, I'd be throwing away 35 cents of every dollar, just throwing it away. It's nuts. So I'll tell you how this goes. And I'm not advertising my seminar, but if you'd like, I will teach you how to consider starting your own business. And it doesn't matter what the business is. If you've got a hobby, if you like going fly fishing, you ought to turn that hobby into making some fly fishing lures. Okay? Just get some materials, and now you're in the fly fishing lure business. Create a website. Now, everywhere you go, every time you go on a fly fishing trip, or every time you go to the store that has fishing equipment, that's the only reason you went there is because of you're searching business opportunities. You're learning about the business. Think about the ramifications. How positive. You can turn your expenses. You can turn your expenses into deductions. It's really cool. And that's what the wealthy do. That's what they do. And when they have these Easter egg hunts, these very wealthy people, and they have Easter egg hunts on the front lawn, for the needy or the handicapped. Do you think they're doing that out of their hearts? Or do you think they're saying, listen, we're going to have the lawn manicured. We're going to have it fertilized. We're going to have sod put in. We're going to make the place look great. Oh, by the way, we're going to have this other event too. So now it's all a deduction. Think about that. Well, they got to paint the buildings, fix the fence, all these things. Well, it's not because they want to. It's because of this Easter egg hunt that they're going to have for the handicapped. There are motives why people do things that we just don't see. So start your own business and start taking deductions that the wealthy take. And we'll show you how. John Regan, back to you.
We've got a ton of financial news that I'm going to do my best to at least get some of the more critical parts. Near the bottom of that list,
Go ahead.
Near the bottom of that list is one called Greek domino set. And this is the most disturbing financial news that I've read. And that's in the history of the world. Greek is set to default on its debt, which is about 320 billion euros. That's roughly $500 billion. And there is somewhere between $3.4 to $4 trillion of derivatives on interest rates and Greek bonds. And when they default, this starts messing with those derivatives. And this article will suggest that once they default, that this will immediately blow things up. And I don't think that will be the case because typically these contracts are written with expiration dates. So I think they'll spread it out over a period of time. On the other hand, if they want to crash things, they can certainly exercise their options on these derivatives, and an immediate $4 trillion hit to the financial world would be devastating, and that's on top of what Switzerland did a few weeks ago. So it's not a pretty picture. And actually, assuming that the dominoes don't fall quickly, this is one of those things that I will be talking about at the Get Prepared Expo. We've also made history today. Going back to the top, I've got Baltic Dry down. This is an article from Friday where the Baltic Dry Index was just 5 points away from matching the lowest it's ever been. There was an 8-day period in July and August of 1986 that it was at 554. Well, this morning, the Baltic Dry Index printed at 554. So now, for the 9th time in its history, it's hit 554. But that's not the only consideration. You know, what I do is I run numbers. The dollar has changed since 1986. So $554 in 1986, using the government's inflation calculator, which we've discussed is probably on the low side, but just using that, it's almost $1,200, $1,196 and change. So when the Baltic Dry Index is below, say, 1,200, that means it's actually lower in real terms than it was in 86. And now we're at 554. That's not good. The second link talks about how the first bankruptcy has been filed out of Copenhagen. And when the smoke clears on this, there's probably going to be a lot less firms in the shipping business.
That was pretty good. I hit the mute button throughout that whole piece. Hey, John Regan, 554 today, 1196 is what it would be in 1986 dollars. That's less than half. That's less than half of what it was at the low in 1986. This is staggering. We'll be right back. We have a special seminar for you on Friday, March 27th at the Get Prepared Expo. From 9 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. Spend the day with USA Prepare's senior instructors, Matt Stein and Dr. Richard Allen Miller. There you'll learn about the 3 major game over events and their likelihood, and most importantly, what to do about them. Events so powerful that they can end life as we know it. Yes, they're real, and our senior instructors will guide you to safety. This seminar is limited to the first 100 who purchase tickets on the website, getpreparedexpo.com. Your tuition for this special seminar is $85. Your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. This is an in-depth, all-day seminar, and you're encouraged to take notes. Note-taking materials are provided. Food and beverages are available all day at the Get Prepared Expo, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. GetPreparedExpo.com.
You ever hear about Ghost 80% AR-15 rifle kits? At Guns80.com, they are the 80% specialists, helping to protect our privacy. Look, there are forces out there right now trying to register guns for future confiscation. UN treaties threatening our Second Amendment and our freedom. You need a Ghost AR-15. Get it at Guns80.com. Call 844-2GUNS80. That's 844-248-6780. Own an AR-15 today and keep it a secret. Go to Guns80.com. That's Guns80.com. 844-2GUNS80.
Hi, this is Steve Spillum for Midas Resources. In 1971, President Nixon took the United States off the gold standard and put us into a fiat currency. This allowed Congress and the Federal Reserve to create trillions of dollars out of thin air. The national debt has risen to incredible heights, and your hard-earned dollars buy a small fraction of what they once did. The average life expectancy for a fiat currency is 27 years. The dollar is failing and on borrowed time. When currencies fall, people turn to gold and silver because gold and silver have been real money for more than 5,000 years. It is our mission at Midas Resources to help you preserve your capital. Don't let your personal savings shrink to nothing. For important free information on how you can protect your personal wealth, contact me, Steve Spillum, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 308. Call today while we are still accepting dollars for gold and silver. 1-800-686-2237, extension 308. Make a change in your financial security today. That's 1-800-686-2237, extension 308.
Good people need help. The Homeowners Association said we had weeds and fined us $25. We told them they had the wrong house. They said if we didn't pay it, they'd file a lien. Our attorney demanded photographs, witnesses, and told them if they couldn't provide this, they must cease and desist. Issue solved. Worry less and live more with lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com or call 855-340-SAVE. That's 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
John Regan's with us. John, silver was in the $15 neighborhood, and you said it was going to move a couple months ago. Well, it's at $17.07 today. You said it's going to make a move up or down, but significantly. And we all know it's going to go up or down, but you said it was going to go up or down significantly, and it's at $17.07 today. So, as we talk about what's happening in Greece, I just decided to look at what happened with silver. And if you had silver, you'd still have silver, right? Do you recommend that people put some of their excess reserves into precious metals?
Yes, I do.
Safe precious metals.
It's important to have something that has value, and it also depends on how long you think the period of pain is going to last. And history, typically, it's been about a 3-year period from when things start going bad until the collapse finally happens. And if that holds out in this one, it may actually happen quicker because of technology and derivatives. But say it goes the full 3 years, can you meet your expenses and do things like pay your property taxes? And precious metals keeps the value of your money safe in that regard.
Mm-hmm. And that's something that we need to think about. So for those who have their property, without mortgages, I mean, if you have a mortgage and it's 99% principal left to be paid and things go bad, you just might end up walking away. But what if you own it free? Well, not free and clear, but you can't because the government forces us to pay taxes. But let's say you don't have a mortgage note on it, and you certainly don't want to walk away from that. So you need to make sure that you have some wherewithal to pay your taxes so you don't lose your property because of these wild market swings in these paper concepts. Like that poor family that invested, if you will, in carbon credits. I mean, it's insanity if you ask me. So we're worried about the derivatives and we're worried about the domino effect. What's next?
Well, let me just read through some of what's going on. We've got a strike in the West Coast ports that are causing supply chain problems. The East Coast ports have started in this too. Since we talked last, Radio Shack has filed Chapter 11. We don't know the full fallout of that may even liquidate. Auto sales are down. There's now reports saying global GDP will be down $2 trillion, down from what was forecast. Credit growth is down, which is bad because without credit growth, you don't get sales growth in our current economy. And the oil patch, the rig count is down. McKinsey & Company released a report saying that global debt is now up to $199 trillion. I'm still trying to track down the sources on that because we talked about a few months ago, global debt was $100 trillion, and the U.S. share of that was almost $60 trillion. And we had previously talked about the merger of Office Depot and Office Max. Well, now Staples is looking at taking over Office Depot. The economy is fundamentally sound, if you believe the government.
John, one of the things that we can tie to directly is this Radio Shack thing. Very quickly, I was operating the tractor and I was baling hay a couple of years ago. And there's this electronic control that allows me to actuate a motor that moves the string or the baling twine across the bale to tie up this 1,000-pound bale of hay. Well, that control box failed. And John Deere wants about $500 for a new one. They don't fix the old ones. So I decided I wasn't going to do that. And I got my volt-ohm meter out. And I figured out how I could use just a momentary contact switch to replace the whole thing. It's $3.99 at Radio Shack. Now what are we going to do? Now what are we going to do if we can't get some advice from the person behind the counter who knows about switches and relays and capacitors and diodes and rectifiers and resistors? Now what are we going to do? Think about it. Consider getting a digital volt ohm meter for $4 and learn how to use it. John Regan, thanks so much. Meet up tonight. Jimmy's Egg.